Hello, everyone. Welcome out to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode number 35. I'm AJ.
And I'm Steve.
Hey, Steve. Who are we brought to you today by?
If ever you get upset the way that Cameron Fry does in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, please make sure to punch the car seat and not the metal support for a car seat headrest. So today, we're brought to you by a big fucking purple bruise.
Well, that was the B-side to Purple Rain, wasn't it? Purple Bruise. Well, Steve.
Only the finest in self-inflicted wounds today.
What are we, in the honor of that, what are we going to kill your pain with today?
Trying to hold the bottle left-handed is going to be entertaining, not bumping the mic.
Mm-hmm.
The Cigar City Cafe Americano. Double stout with coffee and vanilla. Bold and dark, traditional Cafe Americano is made by adding water to espresso. Not espresso, you heathens.
I hate that.
The trim line on a Plymouth Breeze. Or neon. Bold and Dark, Cigar City Brewing's Cafe Americano is made by adding vanilla and Tampa roasted espresso beans to a formidable double stout base.
And it is the color of our souls. Just kidding. We don't have souls. We're not even ginger.
I don't even own a Kia. I told you about that, right?
Yep.
If ever I had a Kia, it gets the license plate less.
Yes. Steve, I think this one's going in the Hall of Fame.
That's a good cup of coffee.
That's going in the Hall of Fame right now. Enjoy, buddy. The Hall of Fame is actually running out of room there.
Just get a bigger placemat. Yeah, that thing.
I was going to say giant coaster.
Yeah. Same diff.
That's the size mug I would like to have for my coffee in the morning. Well, it would probably make Emily really upset since she hates the smell, the look, the taste of everything coffee related. She hates coffee. Hates.
Coffee's like hair. It tastes better than it smells. Smells better than it tastes. Yeah, you can't even get that old joke right. Wow.
I mean,
like I said, I'm not all there right now.
He was talking about hair pie. That's all he was talking about, right?
Scratch that and reverse it, just like the most inappropriate Kit Kat ad ever.
Which one?
Flip it down, let me work it. Play it backwards like Jesus Priest first did. Oh wait, now I'm confusing Missy Elliott and Bloodhound Gang. Whatever.
The Bloodhound Elliott,
Go on.
Missy Blood Gang. The Missy. There we go. The Missy Blood Gang.
I think that's once a month.
So Steve,
Getting more brain busters.
we were.
Tongue twisters.
Have you watched very much of the VinWiki stuff at all?
A little bit here and there, like people with crazy car tales. I do believe they did audio rip that just to have that pop up and random in the car as well.
Yes, because Ed Bullion reading you bedtime stories actually sounds like a really good idea.
He's got a fantastic voice.
He really does. And you got my text I sent you last week. I was like,
Yeah,
I found out very unfortunately.
That happens when you live in Georgia.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's half of your existence if you do that, right?
Yeah, well, for being a cross-country champion, they can't all be perfect.
Well, they can't all be zingers. Sometimes have to be regular-ass Twinkies. I can't remember the last time I had a Twinkie.
One of Brad's parties, I brought a box of Twinkies. I think right after they came back, but you might have been playing that night.
Probably. Are you a Twinkie man or a Zinger man?
What's the Zinger, the chocolate-covered one?
They have chocolate, and then they have just the regular, the regular frosting. And then I think they had a limited edition lemon one, which was amazing.
I think I've been happy with conventional Twinkies so far because Zombieland.
True. It's the perfect food.
I was like, it's like you don't like movies, you don't like zombies, but you're gonna like this one.
I watched. Emily and I went to see it. Actually, I think.
Oh, cool.
I think. No, well, hold on a second. When did that come out?
2009.
No, we didn't. I went to go see it with somebody. I don't remember.
But you saw it.
It was
apparently you enjoyed it.
It was pre-MJ, so I mean, I don't think she's gonna be mad that I went to the movies with a.
How dare you?
How dare you? I'm going to be retroactively angry at you. There's. I told you the C4 Corvette ZR1 story from VinWiki. There's so many of the, like, when he sold the prostitute or the Lamborghini, he bought a Gallardo from a hooker, and he handed her a check for it, and she didn't know what a check was. She goes, "Where's the money?" He's like, I wrote you the check. It's right there. She goes, "This isn't money." She didn't know what a check was. She,
if you're going to clean that car out, you better use a Slovak fume cleaner.
Don't they make those in Eastern Europe? Or is that no? Oh, that's...
Yes.
Is it better than the Swedish variety? Because I got to tell you, our Dyson...
Nothing sucks like an Electrolux.
Our Dyson is not that great. I'll be honest with you.
No.
It really... I don't know if we
should get a Shark.
I think we got a lemon. I think it's just a piece of junk. Maybe the little kids at IKEA didn't put it together as well as they should have.
Well, maybe you need to take it apart and become the vacuum cleaner.
I don't feel like incepting my cleaning habits. But if you haven't checked out VinWiki, Steve's right. It's just a bunch of guys telling unrelated car stories.
Batshit stories.
Some of them
awesome.
Just insanely stupid. Definitely need to check that out. We were going to do a history of Lexus tonight, but once again, our buddy Brian stood us up. Well, he had to work, and he has... all right, so I think I hung out with him Saturday, and I was asking him what he did, and he's in risk management for mortgages. That sounds exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that means in the last dozen years, he's actually had to do something.
Yeah. And they get paid really well for it, I'm sure. But, man, I couldn't. That seems pretty stressful. I don't know, not knowing how long your day is going to be. You have to tell somebody no.
So basically, he's a judge for the bank. Does he have to wear a powdered wig?
I'm assuming he has to. That's kind of mandatory, isn't it? And it would fit really well since his head is shaved.
Sure. So. Easy peasy.
We should bring back powdered wigs. You don't think so?
They look goofy on people, and they look goofy on poodles.
I know.
Not my thing.
But if
the only man that can pull it off is James May, and still, he shouldn't.
Spaniel. What do they call him? Just a wet
spaniel.
Yeah. Like when they're talking about a hair, James looks at Jeremy and goes, "Your hair's not even that good at being hair." So yeah, we were going to do a history of Lexus, but Mr. Brian, we'll wait for Mr. Brian because he's had one or two over the years, and he's looking to get back into a little sporty vehicle. He's tired of putting around in that Forester. I think he had a STI, the car, not the disease.
Yeah, not what the Brits call STDs. That's one of the most unfortunate tuning house names. STI next to Toyota's turd.
Who thought that was a good idea? How did that slip past that many levels of quality control?
Yeah.
So we were we'll wait on that. So
that's gonna be the how to tune your favorite car. Then you have an STI turd. a supercharged 86.
BRZ. You could do. My turd's got an STI. Ew.
Better keep shitting it out, man.
Steve, this is delicious. And I wish I would have bought another bottle. It was only like $13, which isn't horrible for a 12%er.
Yeah.
I think it's 12%. But
didn't make it that far.
It's unfortunate he's not here because he is our favorite Florida man. And we had that Cigar City, and then I got another Cigar City.
Does this mean we're never going to see crazy news stories about him if he lives here now?
Well, I don't know. Why haven't I leaped? That used to come on Sci-Fi Channel on reruns, Quantum Leap.
Oh, and then never saw it.
Yeah, it's goofy, 80s, 90s, but still very nostalgic, goofy. Like watching any sitcom, basically, which was all the same. Like, because you had Full House, and then you had Black Full House, which was Family Matters. But there's no
both of them had the irritating neighbor driving by all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's Gimme Gibbler doing nowadays.
So, Steve, I got a new game I just thought of, and it can go either way. This is music related. We can do good band bad song. Or we can do bad band, good song.
Ooh.
So these are two separate games, unless we want to combine them.
This is going to need to take a TV timeout for me to think about the both of these.
What immediately?
My immediate thought is good band, bad song. The Black Keys, Fever.
Haven't heard it.
It goes from more blues to super poppy, and I hate it when I first heard it. I still hate it now.
Understood. My original one is Bad Band, Good Song, where I went to, and it was Limp Bizkit, and the song was rearranged. And I really liked that song, actually, and I still do.
Story of my senior year of high school. You haven't lived until you're driving around in a white 96 Town and Country, an egg on wheels, rocking out to Significant Other. I think that was the one that actually merged that album and Blink-182's Enema of the State.
Yes.
Just because everything would just fit on one 80-minute CD. I call it Limp Blinkskit because I'm clever.
Limp Blinkskit. If I ever get a dog, that's what I'm going to name it.
So how about never? Is never good for you?
Lick blimp.
Link Bulbskin. Rumple Foreskin. What?
That's a porn star's name. It's got to be. There is a metal band called Rumpelstiltskin Grinder.
I think I'd heard that one a long time ago.
And it is hilarious. There's the bodies are buried in the backyard, and then it goes, or no, bodies in the front yard, not the backyard. Did you happen to see on Opposite Talk the homemade chop top Previa van with the 90s Cup graphics down the side?
No.
Would you like to?
You betcha.
I think it's on Opposite Talk. I'm a part of so many fucking the holy kittens.
Some of them kind of run together. Oh. If you're following Radwood and Malaise, you're going to see a lot of overlap.
It was Radwood, but now that I'm on Opposite Talk, somebody is putting, Steve, there's a Prowler, and there is the world's first 707 horsepower Hellcat Prowler.
Ooh.
That is awesome.
It does need to get rid of the mustache, and then it's going to be perfect. Stupid quasi-bumper.
It has to be there, though. That's U.S. regulation, unfortunately.
I think once it's in your hands, you can do whatever the hell you want with it.
Yeah, it's definitely Redwood.
Ever notice how much better 70s and 80s BMWs and Benzes look with European bumpers because they're tiny instead of, here's a diving board. Now your car's twice as long.
Or the Countach.
Yeah.
The Euro specs way because they just tacked on that's awful. Like, I figure you just take the chance at that point. I mean, the likelihood of...
You're already driving a death trap. Let a death trap be a death trap.
Well, and it's not going to be driven that much anyway, so the likelihood of it striking somebody or pedestrian, this is the best shit I've ever seen.
It's not a Mustang. Whoa.
You know what? That should be the official car of this podcast.
I had something a little bit different in mind.
All right, what was it?
I think it's the Lotus Elite.
The Elite?
Yes.
I need to look.
It's from the 70s. It is effectively the Accord Aerodeck before the Accord Aerodeck was a thing.
Okie dokie. Lotus Elite 74.
Sounds about right. Real funky looking thing.
For that to have come out when it did
is proof the Coke was better then.
Yeah. Well, here's a
because flip ups and a hatchback do go on.
Oh my Allah! 1961 Type 14 Lotus Elite. That's pretty.
That's way better. I'm pretty sure they said Elise wrong.
I imagine that's probably where that. Ooh, yellow. I'm not a big yellow car fan, but that's pretty.
That totally works.
That's really
oddly enough,
pretty.
It looks a lot like an MG.
I was thinking it's like little MG, little Vet, 50th Vet.
So those not watching, check out the 1962 Type 14 Lotus Elite.
The blue. Man, I think the blue's pretty. That looks so happy. And fuck you, Dodge Neon. This one's the one that says hi.
Did you ever see the website Beaters with a Z.com?
No.
It was badly modified and crashed cars, and the greeting page on it was a neon that had been fronted.
Really?
So it was just hi, but like the front bumper's sideways.
I figure it would say bye or ouch.
No, it's just because that was the ad campaign. Oh, it's cute with a broken jaw. It's going to be eating soup for months.
We only went 1 and 1 on good band, bad song, bad band, good song. But it is a little bit harder to do without preparation. So let's see.
So at least we ticked off the bare minimum. And that's what we're here for.
CBGPod, ticking off the bare minimum since 2017. 2018, rather, 2018. It's only been 1 year.
The not-so-seafaring sea students.
C's get degrees, man. Unless you quit like we did.
I'd say it worked in high school, but they counted more.
That's true. Although, I'll be honest, I breezed through high school and I never tried. I didn't study or anything. It was just like the easiest shit ever.
Do you still have nightmares that you didn't finish?
Yes.
Me too.
What class? Mine was English.
Just in general, English was certainly the worst, but just the fact that English was the biggest thing. So here I am not speaking good because they not speak good English is.
I didn't like the question. Hey, what is the author thinking? If you ask me that and you didn't ask the author what the author was thinking, then there's not really a correct answer.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Melville's been dead 150 years. I can't help you.
What was this? Herman?
Yeah.
Herman Melville. Okay. So you're going to get some education on this podcast after all. Paging Mr. Herman.
What do you call the Porsche race car with the giant-ass rear spoiler? It's a 935. That's irrelevant to the fact they called it the Moby Richard.
Oh.
It makes sense when you see that whale of a tail.
You know, I did not have any idea how high the prices are on 993s. The last air-cooled 911s.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's why everybody's collecting the air-cooled, the 70s, 80s ones that are still somewhat attainable. Hell, you can even find one at a foreign car to tell you once in a while for $50, $60. Which makes it about still 70 too many.
Pretty much. I was aghast when I saw it was a VinWiki post, and I watched it was about 944s. And back when I had the story on mine, it got completely mistaken every time for a Porsche. I mean, it was similar, but to me and you, it looks similar, but like it's not even
the 934.
Yeah,
that wasn't the 924. That's the last cheap Porsche.
Yeah, for real. With
Porsche.
a VW engine.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway.
The second GT I had, I bought it from a guy that had a 76 914.
Nice.
That dropped a 2.0 in it. That was a monster.
And
he was replacing the GTI with an 02 Turbo Beetle, but like the Turbo S, so it was the go faster model in dark gray.
Yeah.
He wanted to get the license plate not cute.
But
I mean, it still is. But
yeah, of course, of course.
But, you know, it's a pushing 200 horsepower Turbo Beetle, so it's less terrible until you need to make friends with your mechanic.
Well, in a car that weighs less than a rubber band ball.
That thing's not 3,000 pounds yet. He wound up going to Rhode Island to pick that car up.
Jeez. And it wasn't cancered away?
The Beetle, no, and the 914, no.
Oh.
No, the 914 was nice. It was bright red, immaculate shape.
My in-lawski had a 914 for a little while before he met my
MIL.
Yep. So he didn't have to get rid of it, but he eventually replaced it 40 years later with the Fiata.
How's that been?
Pretty reliable since he never drives it. I can't imagine anybody that would have a convertible sports car that all they did was sit it in their garage. That just seems silly, doesn't it, Steve?
Yes, it does. How dare you do such a thing? And the weather's been so nice lately, too.
I drove it Saturday when I went to pick my check up at No, Friday, whatever. At Harris Teeter, I had to go get my my check for playing there. They always like gives you your check like a week later. Like, no,
Hey, so long as you're getting paid.
fair enough.
I mean, that's cool and all, but could you just deduct the 50 cents out of it for postage? Because that'd be cool too.
Well, it was a good excuse because it was really, really nice on Friday. We went to Pizza Peel because that's my favorite place to fucking go now. Now, you've been to the one in Plasmid, but have you been to the one in Matthews?
No, the only one I've been to was in Cotswold, right around the corner from my old place.
Gotcha. You need to...
I've not been to either Satellite Pizza Peel.
The Matthews one's not... The inside of it's super, super nice. I'm trying
Is
to get
that over
there.
in the downtown area in front of the library? Like just at the hubbub of the everything there?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, if it were really windy, you could throw a Frisbee and hit Pizza Peel from Beer Temple.
Okay.
It's right across from Seaboard. Right across from Seaboard.
Was that like the house instead of the stretch buildings?
Yes.
Okay, so that makes it at least the third thing that's been there I've been aware of. Like, nothing else has stayed open in there.
No, and it's busy every single time. And I think the Corvette Club was there. Or, all right, he said it was the Mustang Club. And they had like 20 people on the outside.
My favorite Mustang's the 86 Capri. Fight me, bro.
My favorite Mustang is the one with the plane.
P-51? Hell yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know planes.
I grew up playing a lot of a World War II flight simulator, so
Gotcha.
that rings a bell. It's rad. Oh, hey, Sean. What's going on?
We need to get Sean on here when he's back. At least he's in this time zone again. So, back to the 944. When I had my Starion, you could get a 944 at a pristine example of under 100,000 miles and clean title for $10,000 all fucking day. Good luck doing that now.
Was it a turbo model?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could get them dirt cheap.
When I lived in Raleigh, a buddy of mine had an 86 non-turbo with a $250,000 on it, and it was still going to be $5,000 then. It's like, cool. I don't have that kind of money, and I don't have the repeated $5,000 to keep this thing running. Buddy of mine in Charlotte, his dad had what they call the 951 is the 944 turbo, nerd alert, and that was one of the first cars you could chip tune.
Huh.
So this was a bigger, better, go fast one, all the way until it caught fire once.
Yeek.
Yeah, it got better. I was actually one of the guys that Gray went to high school with, and another buddy of Gray's growing up still takes his 951 to Cars and Coffee. I bump into him once in a while. So I haven't bumped into him since at least April of last year. Whoops. Oh, hey, Rich. Hey, JJ.
That had the biggest four-cylinder engine. That was a 3.0.
That was the 964, the next one. That they never
964?
released, at least never sold the turbo model if that was a thing here, but a 3.0 four-cylinder. Like, that's the size of my biggest engine, but it was a V6.
Yeah, and then you had a 2.7
Yep.
And I had a 2.6
the pre-runner.
Mm-hmm. But then you had the Mazda, was it the 323 that had the 2.3-liter six-cylinder?
You're thinking of the MX-3 that looked like the CRX and it had a 1.8-liter six-cylinder.
Right, okay.
Versus my current car with a 1.8-liter four-cylinder.
Those
I think a few of those 180 horses have run away.
Those pistons have like...
it'll be... Well... think back on classic Ferrari engines. It's a 4.0 liter or 3.8 liter V8, or a small displacement V12.
Yeah, the Formula One engines were capped at you couldn't go over like 4 liter, 3 liters at the time, and there'd be like a 3 liter fucking V12 like with bottle caps.
Yeah,
and they'd still be like 4 valves per cylinder, something stupid.
Sure.
The Lambo V12s, I think the 6 liters were 5 valves per cylinder, so it was like 2 intake, 3 exhaust, and that's 60 valves. And a little bejeweled Italian fingers putting that together.
Yep.
Can't imagine that was super reliable.
No.
Demuro,
but when it runs, it screams. That VR6 second GTI I had was still 12 valver.
Oh yeah.
And still a pain in the ass. That's why I kept it 5 months.
Starion was 12 valve.
So it was a 3 valver?
3 valves per cylinder.
Okay, I think that's what Colin's dad's 81 Prelude was.
The 80s were
something
a strange
really
time.
strange.
Well, it was a 12 valve, 2 injectors. It was a 2 injector design.
So it could burn your gas that much faster.
Yeah, the plugs, every time you did a plug change, all 4 of them looked different. Like, there was no uniformity to it. But here's the even shittier part of the throttle body. They called them the TBI, throttle body injection, because they had that in the multi-port. The cars overseas got the different engine with multi-port. Stupid. But it's a primary injector and a secondary injector. So the primary injector was the only injector that ran under 3,000 RPMs. So it was essentially a one-injector motor. So they were huge spray pattern. Like,
So
it was a
apparently
750.
you're not driving it right.
750 and then a 1,000 cc inject single. And then the 1,000 kicked in after $3,000 because full boost. So it was fun, but but it's very, very poorly designed.
Like my old car's got double cam profiles, but second profile doesn't kick in until 6,800.
And it redlines at 8.
Yep.
Yeah. Mine kicks in at... I'll get back to you on that. I think it's...
It's always semi-astronomical.
Well, not as bad. Like, the TSX was infuriating because it kicked in at 6 and it redlined at 7, which was... It's infuriating.
But why?
Or the painting. Why though? I love that. Let's see. AP2 VTEC engagement.
And my whole thing feels pretty gutless before $4,000, and then it's still not quick at this point in time.
Stock is 6 on a stock. On stock ECU is 6. But then pretty much any time you tune it, you can get it down to whatever. Or you can do the killer cam profile in VTEC and just have it run VTEC all the time, which is a horrible idea because it's so loud.
I heard about that happening on someone's CRV. That the VTEC solenoid busted, so it was in VTEC all the time. He said it sounded awesome, but the mileage really suffered.
Have you ever seen the cutaway video of how VTEC works?
No.
It is awesome. It really is.
What about VVTI, man? Gotta head to Honda. I was like, well, they totally ripped up a portable phone manufacturer, but
they subtracted.
It still sounds cool.
They subtracted an H.
Well, it's not VTech.
Ugh. Yeah. I hate it when people spell the VTEC with an H. Like, get the fuck out of here with that.
Are you talking about a cordless phone? I think we had a few of those.
VTEC sounds better than every other variable valve timing from any manufacturer because it's VVTI and Toyota, but then Mitsubishi's was MyVec.
Variable valve timing with intelligence, but mine's a VVTI-L. Because it's variable valve timing intelligence with lift.
With long bed.
This car is very much a short bed.
Fair enough. Or a no bed. Or a tent. It's a tent. It's not a bed. It has a roof. So Steve's going to be going to Las Vegas, Nevada. Next month?
In a month, yeah.
End of next month. And I want to go, but I shan't. Although the way work's been going lately, I could use a little bit of time away, but I don't know. I have no idea. Who are you splitting the room with?
Colin.
Nice.
Apparently he's the one that coordinated the everything since he's got magical hotel powers.
Fair enough.
And somehow we're not staying in his timeshare, I don't think.
So you
or
just
however that thing works. Like, pay for flight, I owe him for half a room, and then whatever else there. I remember back in the day that everything was really cheap in Vegas, but it's been a long time since last I was there in 1998. So then I couldn't drink, I couldn't gamble, I couldn't get a call girl, and now I can do two out of those three.
Well, you could do all three, but it's not a good idea to do one of those three. Problem Gambling Hotline, everybody. It's 1-800.
I think the fact I'm bad at gambling is my problem gambling.
Thomas and I had the argument about poker being gambling. He said poker's gambling, and I said if you're a good poker player, poker is not gambling. And, of course, Thomas being the argumentative chap he is, I said, no, poker's actively not gambling if you know what you're doing. You're going to make... He's like, well, Oh, and well, I explained to her, I was like, why do you think the good poker players are the most profitable? You can't go by tournament by tournament. Like, yearly, the good players, there's a reason you always see them on TV. And the fact that they're all quite a few millionaires doing that. So they don't do that just because they're lucky. Sometimes it's luck, but you have to...
Did you catch any of the Jeopardy with the guy who was a professional gambler and murdered everything for a couple of weeks?
What was the story? I saw the guy's picture.
He looks like James Longtooth from Family Guy. What the underbite, right, man? But he actually employed the strategy I'd considered years ago, but thing is, he did it successfully to gut the highest paying questions and then build up, hit the double, bid most if not all of it, succeed at that, and keep going and just murder everybody.
Okay.
And he was a professional sports gambler prior to this, so he was already retired at 27. So this is just fluff to get his extra $2.4 million and get out.
Jeez. People underestimate, so at work, when we first got lottery, I forgot when North Carolina got that shit was like 07, 08.
Yeah.
But they first got it. A couple months and years go by, whatever. And then you see people, I'm not playing it till it reaches 500 million. I don't want to win only 5 million. I'm like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could do a lot of damage with that.
Well, I was going to say, what do you work, madam or sir, that you're going to make $5 million in your life? Because most of us are not going to total $5 million in our life.
And if half that gets taxed, well, shit, can I pick the road that's going toward?
Yeah, you know what? And
can I pick the clinic that goes toward?
If I would have won that much money, if I win $25 million when I'm 20 years old, I take the $20,000 a month for the rest of my life. Now that I'm 33, I take that lump sum. You never quite know how many more days you got left on the earth. So I'm going to take that lump sum, knowing it's going to be taxed out the wazoo. But at least I'll have it. And then I can spread it out between 100 banks or so. So I'm not, So if one bank gets toasted.
So first third, second third, third,
I tell people,
fourth third, fifth third.
I tell people that I bank at 1 2/3.
Huh? It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
Over 5. Or over 3. God damn it.
No. It's a better written joke.
We both have the dumb today. I'm okay with that. It's okay to have the dumb. Steve, I got a couple
My
more.
favorite Nirvana song, You Bet Your Ass It Is Good to Have That.
I like that one. And it's easy to play. So
You play cello?
Yeah. CELLO. It's a string. You brought some beers, but I also got some goodies. I got the other Cigar City, if you want to get that one. It's oatmeal raisin cookie.
Funny, I just had those the other day. And
Are they good?
Yeah, because it was the running gag of people being very upset about oatmeal raisin cookies.
I like them.
I don't mind them, but a lot of people were very upset that those were not chocolate chip.
Well, get oatmeal.
Because they kind of look the part. Whoops.
Get oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. Those do exist. And by the way, there's another thing in there that's a double IPA, the tall boy can. But it's up to you what we do next. There's not really a bad choice in there, to be honest. And I feel like we need to save that La Fin du Monde for if we do a December 21st episode. So have like a anniversary of the end of the world.
That was the best plate party ever.
It was. It really was. You want to,
or should I just grab 2 of them?
Yeah, let's. Yeah,
all right.
It'd be easier that way, so we don't taint the glasses. These tainted glasses you're giving all a boy can give you. Yeah, so the guy selling me that fridge about the beers not being super cold. This is definitely cold enough, and I didn't put them in until about 1 o'clock this afternoon. That's plenty cold. It's more of a wine fridge, but it fits the cans and everything so nicely. Steve and I are drinking oatmeal raisin cookie brown ale from Cigar City Brewing, again from Tampa, which I've heard Tampa's actually super duper cool to go to. Because since I'm not a huge I need to go to Disney World fan, I don't fucking care about Orlando.
So you'd rather go to Busch Gardens?
I'd rather go to Shaved Gardens.
What's your stance on theme parks? Because they do have that there.
I like theme park. Of course, me being me, I'm not a big water park fan. Sorry. All right.
SeaWorld could be a water park if you're doing it right.
Holy shit, that's fucking delicious. Oh, man. In addition to raisins and cinnamon and milk sugar to our... Okay, the addition of raisins...
that totally fits the part.
The addition of raisins, cinnamon, and milk sugar to our full-bodied and chocolatey brown ale base creates a unique beer that tastes exactly like it was pulled out of Grandma's oven.
I don't know, it's kind of cold.
I'm gonna text Emily, tell her to come on up so she can try it. It'll be Emily's first vocal appearance on here. Come upstairs and try this beer. Steve's missus has been in the room during a podcast before.
That was early on.
That was very early on, and then she quickly realized probably that this is kind of boring if you're not a part of it. Oh, boy. So Steve and I told Steve yesterday we saw Rocket Man Saturday, and it was awesome. Go see it. Taron Egerton did a fantastic job playing Elton John in looks and the personality, and he did all the singing on there, which is bonkers because while Elton John's not, he was never considered like one of these, oh my God, he's got the best range and blah, 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 but it was always really good stuff.
Yeah.
And he played it to it. It was great. It absolutely should go see it. And I'm not a movie guy, and that should tell you something. If I tell you to go see something, it's probably pretty good.
I saw The Real Deal, Elton John, back mid-March.
How was it?
That was a fun show. It was fantastic, but hot damn, that wasn't $200 for the concert.
Yikes. How close were you?
Middle right arena.
Okay, so
so still close enough we could see him and the crazy quasi pyrotechnics and the screen and the band, and enough that I could like zoom in with my good camera on him and everything else going there.
Yeah. Now you were close enough where if like you could see his face with your eyes and go, okay, that's Elton John.
Yes.
So you weren't okay. That's good. Yeah. Our much like your price tag when we go see Breaking Benjamin and Chevelle in August, it costs about $200 something for 2 tickets, but I'm like 8 rows back. So
yeah,
I kind of want to be closer. I don't want to be on the lawn with all the crazies, especially if it's going to be rainy and muddy, because that's how I ruined my entire outfit when I went to see Godsmack and Rob Zombie. It was so muddy. People were having mud fights. I basically got naked at my front door and just threw all of my stuff in a trash bag and just took the loss on it. Like, it was just, there was no fixing it. Shoes, socks, everything was just ruined. Like, even my car seats. Like, we walked to the gas station to get plastic bags to put over the seats in the Maxima, which was a very, very fun car, actually, until it just kept eating all of its parts. Well, it's a good. Well, that was Elton John's farewell, right? Tour.
Yeah, which is a 3-year farewell tour.
Jesus.
I think it's in October. He'll be playing in Charlotte in case you want to burn all your money again.
Wouldn't mind seeing him. How many more chances are you going to get? Probably not. Well, Kiss has done 800 farewell tours,
and I've been to none of them.
You too.
And will go to none of them.
Yes.
And whenever U2's retiring, I don't feel the need to go to that either.
You have some mysterious
can you play, like,
ways.
Just play like stuff from '93 and before. That'd be super.
Yeah, and even that. Did you remember the video? I don't remember what the song was, but it was just The Edge sitting in a chair, and people's feet were going all over his face. It was fucking.
Nope.
I don't think I've seen that level of disgust from you since Bruce. That was a fantastic, horrible face. Look, don't ruin your other arm in jest.
I just have to just start beating. Yeah, sit in the passenger seat and then do the same thing. How'd you break your watch, Steve? Don't ask.
Was that the same arm you set on fire? Did that guy set on fire?
I didn't. No, that was Lefty.
Okay,
no, you can still see it right here.
Jesus Christ!
Which was real funny seeing Gerald last night. We don't talk about that. 4th of July, 6 years ago, y'all.
Oh boy!
Took a firework in the arm because one of the fireworks didn't have a fuse that was functioning, so why not have the guy that's setting up fireworks drop a lit one into that and see what happens? Meanwhile, I was making video of this, so it's just dark out. So you see our spark, 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 launch, and then just bright swirly as the phone flies out of my hand, lands on the ground. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Yeah. Give him a beer.
Well, we got a cool story out of it, even though.
And that's when I discovered that using aloe vera on a semi-open wound stings like a bitch.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the standard of care for that immediately, is it?
It was somewhere along the way and got it checked out and discovered that Mederma, a silver compound for skin wounds, is quite expensive.
Yeah? Real silver?
Well, it was $40 for a tube instead of your conventional $2 cortisone, so yes.
Yikes.
It did the trick, so you could barely see that anything's wrong.
No, unless you were looking for it. I mean, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And you have the gift of being a little hairier than me, so.
The magic of being a werewolf.
Grr, baby. Very grr.
Gotta work on your accents there. Grrr. There you go.
Good, baby. Very good. You know the original Austin Powers came out 22 years ago.
Yeah.
I really have absolutely no idea where time goes. And I called my pops. I was like, hey, happy Father's Day. How's it feel to be a father for this long? He goes, old.
What, about 50 years?
He works the same.
How old's Greg?
53.
Okay, so that long?
Yeah. 52? 53? He's born, nope, 53. He was born in 65. December of 65. And for some reason, I always get he and my nephew Tyler's birthdays mixed up because they were both born in December. It's like anywhere from December 5th to the 13th is when both of their birthdays are. Sorry, Greg.
Pearl Harbor adjacent.
Basically.
My brother's getting married on Pearl Harbor Day. She was just like, so are you serving sushi at the reception?
Well,
he never got back to me on that.
They should do sushi, and then the drinks should be kamikazes. Or they have a sake bar. I could just do the whole theme. I'm not sure how in poor taste that is. It'd be even better if he was marrying a Japanese girl and he was Hawaiian.
I don't think that's how Pittsburgh works.
Is that where we're getting married?
No, that's where she's from.
Ooh. I'm sure she's a lovely girl.
Yes.
What's her name?
Laura.
Laura. Okay, I was just thinking Lauren, but that's...
Close. Which is funny because every time I try to date anybody named Laura or Lauren, never panned out. It's like, all right, so note to self, do not attempt to date female version of my middle name. Not as if Stephanie's panned out either. Or Nicole's. Really any spin on my own name just never worked. And it's all been for the better.
Well, you know, I've never dated a girl with initials for a name, but I will say every girl that's named Ashley is fucking nuts. Every one of them. But the conventional spelling of Ashley.
There's a certain amount of bit nuts for the typos as well.
The only one I know with the typo is... two. One was the... never mind. I'm not going there. And the other one was a waitress at the saucer.
Just as I wind up cutting this.
No, I don't think so. But I was trying to accurately to describe to you what you call the second girl you ever had sex with, and I couldn't think of a word for that, so I didn't think of a word. So then I just said it. But then you got Ashley from Saucer, who's is ASHLEIGH, and she's not crazy at all. She's actually super cool. Probably.
Yes, I've seen her. She's cool.
Deep down, you never know. But I've also, you should never date a girl named after a month or a season.
Or a rock.
A rock?
Amber, crystal, jade,
What
emerald.
about Chris Anthony's Amber? She seems very lovely.
I never read her.
You haven't?
No.
No shit. They came out to Birdsong one night when we were playing, like 2 years ago when Birdsong actually booked us.
I think it's Noda too, but
She's really, really chill. I mean, she's with Chris Anthony, and Chris Anthony's really chill and silly, and she's really chill and silly. Chilly? Still?
cool.
I was going somewhere. Oh, yeah, so I had dated a girl named May. So you don't want to date. There's May, but then you have, there's girls named June. I know a guy named August, but our buddy Anthony is marrying the guy named August. So I don't know if he's crazy. He seems like a very, very, very nice dude, though. When is their wedding?
Dunno.
We need to talk. We saw him at Macy's one day, and he's like, yeah, check this out. I'm like, no shit, getting married, man. Congratulations. I was like, I'll go to your first funeral and your second one.
Huh?
So what?
What they don't tell you, 4 weddings and a funeral, all for the same person.
January. I've never Jan, but not January.
I know a January.
Really?
One of Adam's buddies married her.
No shit. Is she cold and gloomy?
No, she's nice.
All right, good. And then you got April's, which there are a dime a dozen, and then May, June. Okay, the rest of it. But then you got fall, autumn, fall. Nobody's named fall. Autumn, and I knew a girl named Season.
You too.
Yeah. Did she have a really horrible tooth to gum ratio like this one did? Okay, was she attractive?
Yes.
This one was not. Do you remember? Do you remember in the movie Dodgeball where he's lifting the cheerleader above his head who is 3 times his size? It's something like that. It just picture it in your head. I got faith in you, Esteban. But holy shit! I just got like, of course Thomas is calling me.
Naughty dog.
Yeah, what's up? I'm not answering that phone call because I don't want to hear about work. Especially
we heard enough last night.
Oh my god!
But thanks for a chicken wing.
For real, it's so fun to do that to him because I just look at him sometimes and I go, "I told you so, man." He like before he even started working for the company. He said, "Why don't you just step up and be in upper management and make more money?" I don't see why you don't do it. I said, "It's not worth it. It's not worth it." He's doing it now. And he knows now that it's not worth it. I mean...
Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe it's not Maybelline.
Have you seen the horse? Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Nope.
That would be a joke for Andy. Which, Andy would probably be a good guest on the podcast. Because we were talking to him about it. I was talking to him about it today at OTB. And he goes, well, you know what? I don't know shit about music. Or cars, but I can sit here and talk about whiskey and booze with you. It's like, well, hey, we can.
Man.
Well, look, we had Mark on, and that episode was all cars,
all track, all the time.
Yeah, and then the episode with Mac didn't have very much to do with any of the 3 topics we talked about. But that's the beauty of this. See, we've already started. Look at how many topics we've discussed, and we haven't even really discussed them that much. But Steve, I got a beer-related question for you. How many beer styles can we name without looking them up?
At least half a dozen.
I'm going to say we can name 20. But, all right, here's the stipulation. Do we count Imperials as different versions?
Well, seeing as everything is an imperial, that doubles your numbers right there.
It does, but is that fair? Because you have IPA and you have double IPA and you have imperial IPA, which is different than
your
a double.
Belgian, your triple Belgian, your quadruple
Quads.
Belgian.
Yeah.
Well, see, there's a half dozen right there.
Sours, lambic. Lager,
IPA, IPL,
IPL, red ale, amber ale, brown ale, old ale,
porters,
stout,
whatever that Sam Adams thing was. That was half ale, half lager. The Sam 76,
yes,
is good.
Yeah, wheat, Hefeweizen,
Pilsner,
yeah,
Kolsch.
Yeah, woof.
The varying degrees of non-alcoholics.
Ew, that doesn't
But
count.
why bother?
That's like dry humping. It doesn't mean anything. Hazy IPA.
Do you like those?
Yep. You said Belgian triple already. What style is Le Fin du Monde? I don't even remember.
Awesome.
I mean, it's fucking great, but I'm afraid to open that bottle. It's so old. Remember the last old bottle we opened hit my bass string and made a nice dong. All right.
Be careful with it. Better that than a window.
True. Or any of the other. It hit the bass, and that's the one I don't play as much. So.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as much money as the other ones, so that helps too.
So how much would a PRS bass be?
They make them, and they are still not cheap. On the low end of the spectrum, Carl could pick up one for $600. But I'll be honest with you, I use my bass to record here in the house, and it's not ever going to leave the house unless I move the house. If I played bass out, I would get a nice bass to play. But that one plays so good. Like
that's a funny visual. I'm just envisioning a helicopter with a giant claw on it, and it plucks the house up. But I have to drop the house a few times before it picks it back up.
All about that bass. DJ.
No trouble.
Yeah, when I saw that chick, I was like, yeah, she could probably use some more treble. I miss that guy. He needs to be on here, even though he does not drink that at all, hardly. So, and he's not much of a car guy. But he does like hip-hop. Like good hip-hop, not like what the fuck ever passes for that shit right now. Although I will say I kind of enjoy Kendrick Lamar stuff. What little I've heard.
Be Atmosphere.
The board game?
Band?
Bop it. I don't know Atmosphere.
That was actually something Natalie told me about, and they're quite good.
Melcher?
Yeah.
Melcher, right? Okay. We haven't hung out with them in a while. We need to. What are y'all doing? Oh shit, we got a wedding to go to.
Yeah. The rest of the month's screwed.
What about you're at the Palm Friday for lunch?
Yeah.
But then, all right. So you work Monday through Friday, but it's third.
You're right.
Okay, I thought it was.
It's a fairly easy week, assuming that it's not last night. Like, oh, hell broke loose, so let's do what's here. But the usual thing won't get in until 3 in the morning. Though we have to scramble on that too.
Fair enough. Because
so I'm already 3 hours over for the week. So taking that and running with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When they told me I had to go to another store, and then my only 2 days off this week. Oh, by the way, there's no overtime this week. Yeah, maybe not for y'all, but I'm fucking getting it.
Yeah.
You can write me up. I don't give a damn about that.
You just dropped this bomb on me. Do you want me to give it back to you?
Yeah. You guys are lucky that I feel like being helpful, because I very seriously considered walking out the door, and then I was like, well, I get 6 weeks of vacation. I better just shut the hell up.
That's about the only saving grace I have right now. It's like, all right, all the paper I could use and the 4 weeks vacation. Well, my schedule's kind of screwed up, so then I have to take extra day here and there to recoup before doing the thing I want to go do. Thanks, guys.
Fair enough. Although you could come be first in command and cutting fruit for me for $10 an hour.
Double that and we'll talk.
I can't pay you what I make to do that for part-time.
Sorry, but that is the going rate.
I would if I could, but
yeah. Which is real fun, like in the sheen of trying to find jobs and like all the not cold calls but cold emails are like, yeah, here's construction or here's warehousing or whatever have you. Like only one thing has come close to what I'm making now. Mm-hmm. No. It's not pushing buttons and swapping hard drives. It's like, that's what I'm trying to do, guys.
Have you got your certs finished?
Uh-huh.
You got to take
still not shit's happening.
Have you taken the test?
Yeah.
I assume
was as easy as I hoped.
Oh, yeah, I figured so.
Well, people, we're not calling you back, though.
Let me ask Tony from Poor, because he works in IT full time. So I wonder if he's got any openings. So remind me after we get done with this, and I'll ask him if they got anything going on. What's
I
up?
saw him on their Face-Base Happy Father's Day post.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite gingers. Super, super chill. He's always been just really, really nice. That whole family, man, they're just great. And if you haven't been to Poor 64 in Mint Hill, you need to go. It's really chill. It's kind of like Mint Hill's own version of Cheers.
I'd get them their own Nintendo 64, but those have gotten expensive.
Well, you have a pie.
That too.
You could sell them. and arguably that's better.
It's going to look like a shrunken Super Nintendo, but hey, whatever works.
That's so cool, though. I wouldn't even mind having a switching out and giving you my old one and me taking the super clone. But we'll talk. We can talk about that. Everything's negotiable. I want to go back to good band, bad song, bad band, good song.
Okay.
Now I've had plenty of booze in me, so now I feel like the wheels are turning. So you know me, I'm the biggest Soundgarden and Alice in Chains. I like the grunge music, so I'm trying to think of a song. I will tell you, I didn't really enjoy I Stay Away from Alice in Chains that much until...
You saw the video. That might as well have been a Tool video.
Basically. But as I've gotten older, I've liked it. I just didn't like the string instruments in it. Like I didn't like the orchestral. By the way, Tonight is really weird to listen to without the orchestra behind it, with just the guitars. It does sounds like a completely different song, but still a good one. Mm-hmm. Trying to think of like bands that you and I really liked that there was a song that I just didn't like. Because like, all right, so my least favorite Soundgarden album is Down on the Upside, probably. Or the newest one, just because the previous ones were just so great. Mm-hmm. And then Alice in Chains, I
never listened to King Animal.
There's good. It's a natural. It is exactly like you would expect the next album after Down on the Upside being. It's not super hard. There are some hard songs on there, but then there's some good ones, and then there's some you're like, okay, I could take it or leave. Like the one that was on what was Live to Rise was on like an Iron Man. That one was okay, but it was more like radio rock friendly, and you know what? Anything by Pearl Jam after Vitology, I could take or leave. To be honest with you, but there was something about sucking Satan's dick. And I don't remember that song. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay. Well, Chuck, do you remember Chuck? He used to hang out with me like right before Emily and I got married, and then he fell off the edge of the earth, and I haven't spoken to him.
Drawn a blank.
He loved Pearl Jam, and he like was the biggest like he loved all the weird stuff, and like the all that good stuff. So, the Pearl Jam did some weird shit on like not Verses, but No Code, and was it that an album? It was No Code, and then there was the one after that was shit. I'm not up on my Pearl Jam knowledge. You either?
No,
unless it's 10 or Vitology.
Right. It's just everything through about 94. Yes,
but Vitology had
hey, Foxy Mop Panel Mama, look at me.
Corduroy on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Corduroy was on there, and Better Man was on Vitology.
I thought it was on 10 Verses.
I don't think so.
Proof of that. Well, we're drilling ourselves on a band we're not that into, so that's fun.
Okay, good.
Sure, it's like the stuff I heard on the internet or heard on the radio forever.
Where? God damn it. That's not going to work out. It was going to search for where, what, god damn it.
So what happened?
I stopped it before.
Where in Idaho does that send you?
I've been potatoed. Better Man. Song by Pearl Jam. Vitology.
Huh.
1994. And this is about, I think it's Stone Gossard's mother being in an abusive relationship. And, of course, I had to ruin that song for Emily because she calls me the song ruiner. She can't find a better man. She thought it was... I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Yep. It was about an abusive relationship she just kept going back to.
Never-ending plight of those stuck in bad relationships because, well, he's an asshole, but he's taking care of business, too. Shit.
Ugh. Yeah. I can't even begin to imagine because it's easy for people to say, why don't you just leave? But then... if there's kids or you genuinely fear for your life and you leave and they find you, then
yep,
there's a lot of shit going on. Like it's
you literally have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, I mean, man, the world sucks. But why does listening to depressing music make me happier? Does that do it to you?
Irony loves company.
I guess so.
That said, there's only so much local H I can listen to at once.
Would you love me any better?
If you were any better?
I haven't heard that song yet. I've only heard...
dude, it's rad.
I've only heard one local H song, and that's the one that everybody has heard. Which is still funny that they don't have a bass player. Which, did I explain to you?
It's a two-piece.
Did I explain to you the schematics behind their setup?
Guitar and vocals and drums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, check this out. They tried out a bunch of different bass players after their original one left, and they could not find one they liked. So what they did was they put 2 input jacks on an electric guitar so instead of one. One input jack went to the bass pickup, which is near the neck, which is the top one. And then they have another input jack that's the treble pickup near the bridge, and that's the bottom one. So they sent the bridge pickup, the bass one, to a bass amp and dialed in a bass tone with that pickup. And then the treble pickup they sent to a guitar amp and made that the guitar. So he was playing it, and it was just playing the same sound, just one was a different octave. So that's how they fixed that.
On a 6-string?
Regular 6-string guitar.
Wow.
So essentially it's just playing the same thing. It's just the bass amp is playing with it had the bass pickup. You know, he had the pickups in there and set them. They just had it set up to be an octave different, so it beefs up the sound, which is essentially what your rhythm section does anyway.
Cool.
That's one way to do it. If you don't mind hacking up your guitar, and you know, I don't think they were playing super expensive equipment.
They're everywhere, so do what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you see people. You see Pete Townsend and Kurt Cobain. Well, you don't see it anymore, but smashing shit on stage. They're not smashing their good shit. They're making sure that they play the shitty shit. Because I think they said that they put together the same guitar that got smashed every single night, and they just kept putting it back together.
Did you ever see Hateful Eight?
Mm-mm.
A, don't. 2, but in that movie is a scene where Kurt Russell destroys an old guitar.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a decoy.
Oh.
No, he destroyed an 1850 acoustic guitar.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sure the owner of that really appreciated...
Insurance much?
Well, when you're lending it for movie purposes or any other purposes...
Better know what's going on with this.
You either make sure you trust them or make sure you insure it. Because there's a... Okay, so the guy from VinWiki...
And that said, don't watch that movie. It's hateful and everyone's an asshole.
Well, it's in the title of the movie. I mean...
Yeah.
So the starter of VinWiki actually got his start renting out exotic cars. So he bought his first...
Has he learned nothing from Rob Ferretti?
Mr.
Because that
Spaghetti.
is nothing but everything is super screwed in his lineup right now.
Well, that's how he got his start, and he must have done something right at first. But that business model is pretty lucrative anyway. I mean, when you first start out, if you're the only gig in town or in most of the country, it works out pretty good, especially if you can find somebody to insure your business. But
Haggerty.
After that... It's a bit... I wouldn't trust people. There's no way I could do that business. Because if I bought it with my own money... Just imagine if you just bought a Gallardo with your own money and go, oh, I'm going to rent it out to this Joe Schmo for 3 days whom I don't even fucking know who it is. There was one... they rented out a car and they drove it from It was an exotic car rental, I think, in Virginia, and they had a GPS thing, and it was booking it to Atlanta, and they called Ed Bolian, and they was, can you go check this out? And they drove it to like a strip shop that's open at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like he's driving, there's people working inside there, music's playing like it's the middle of the afternoon. The guys that were working there have no idea. They just get a car dropped off to them, and they didn't get prosecuted. They just get a car dropped off to them. Like, we need you to take this apart, and they do it. But to be honest with you, there's probably some shady shit going on at that shop because you're open at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
so
that's not normal mechanics hours.
Nope. So the police went in there and took care of business. But the car got back to its owner, and you like the stories where they total they drive and they total loss. I couldn't imagine looking at a total loss $300,000 car. Like, I don't care how good.
What, you don't like wreckedexotics.com?
Like,
I have a morbid fascination with that website.
That's what I was gonna go for. It's not a not enjoying it. It's a ooh.
A man with priorities so far to whack does not deserve such a fine automobile.
Well, money doesn't buy talent.
Like, what spin on happiness am I supposed to put here?
No, it's talent.
Yeah,
for driving.
Something driver mod.
Yeah, something like that. Which you could get. I think if you bought a new Viper ACR, they actually included driving lessons at a track for you. I don't know if that was the new one or the old one, but yeah, if you bought an ACR brand new, they paid for you like to go to a driving school for a couple days to learn. Because with that car, you need it. It's a lot of mechanical grip.
This car is an axe motor and it wants to be dead.
Basically, it's Jeremy Clarkson's. It's as ridiculous and wonderful as owning a pet elephant. I think that probably is that and the Countach is probably the most ostentatious, ridiculous thing you could ever own. But the Countach is even worse because it's actually not even that enjoyable to drive. It's hard to get in and out of. You can't see. You get baked because none of the windows open more than like that far. But we'll never know.
They did come with AC.
Yeah, but
Farrah still had it with his, and somehow still fits in it.
Farrah has a Countach?
You're not paying attention to shit on that side, are you?
No.
Yeah.
He still got the Vet, too, doesn't he?
No, the Vet's long gone.
Okay. And the
DeLorean,
Focus RS?
That's gone.
No shit.
DeLorean's gone. The current lineup is now an 87 Safari 911, an 88 Countach, and a 91 Mitsubishi Delica van. Effectively a right-hand drive van version of a Montero.
How awful is that looking, or is it actually not bad?
It's kind of rad.
Is it as rad as the Previa convertible?
It gets the silver medal.
I had no idea. Like, all right, so have you seen Countach in person?
You keep watching the videos. I keep listening to the podcast.
I haven't watched the videos since he's not in the videos really anymore.
Only like the really high end stuff, and now Zach's doing the one takes.
Zach's good with the one takes too. I haven't watched. I've unsubscribed from it just because I've pretty much seen every car I want to see them drive. I mean, it is what it is at that point. I mean, but DeMuro did a LaFerrari today.
Oh yes, how fantastic a name is this? This is the Ferrari.
That's a pretty horrible name. But the guy who he drove it is a collector, and his name is David Lee, and he's on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. David Lee, Ferrari collector. So Doug's doing...
It's David La Ferrari collector. Get it right.
Well, this guy's garage is pretty impressive, and I'll be honest, like when Doug's doing the video, he's doing the LaFerrari. It's in the front. And in the back, you see an Enzo right beside his F50, right beside his F40, right beside his Daytona.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a very, very Asian dude. And by the way, the rest of his car collection is just as ridiculous, too. I have no idea what this guy does for a living, but...
he makes money, that's what.
He makes a lot of fucking money. Man, what a horrible life to live. I couldn't imagine doing that. So much pressure. Yeah, right. Give me some of that fucking pressure. Money can't buy happiness, my asshole. It can buy me a lot of cars and tacos, and that's fucking...
That's certainly close.
That's halfway there. But it's... I don't... What are your favorite Ferrari of all time is?
F40.
Me too.
Because we grew up when we grew up.
That's true.
That was the fastest and coolest looking.
Because
the 959 just looks like you melted a 911.
Thank you. I'm glad you think that. Even though it was super technologically advanced, I had no idea there was that much tech in it either.
They had to do something to make the 964 as good as it was.
Yeah.
Remember, they sold 12 of them.
I never cared for the look of it, but the F40 always just timeless design. And it's because of go-kart, no nanny aids, no nothing. It's got to be like, that's 2.8 liter V8 also. But just a ridiculous. I've never seen an F40 in person. I've seen an F50 in person, and I've seen an Enzo in person. I have not seen a LaFerrari in person. And
per your earlier point, I have seen a Countach in person. I think that was one of the early Cars and Coffees.
Mm-hmm. White?
I need to find that picture again.
My favorite Countach is the one that has not the 25th anniversary. It has too much going on. I like the one that just has like the tall rear wing. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite one, and I think it's the LP 5000.
I think there's a 4000 to 5000.
I like the 5000. It's a little more plain. It's not as over the top as normal, but
do you know what the tail of that wing is?
What's that?
The Countach didn't come with wings until after the first Cannonball Run movie because they tacked it onto the car for the movie.
Oh.
And then owners of the car were like, where's my wing? I want a wing. They wound up having to retroactively build the wing for these cars.
Nice.
It's completely useless, except it looks like you have a B2 on the back of your car.
Jesus. Steve, I think we should do a road trip where we drive... the old Route 66 from start to finish.
Chicago to Bumstick, California.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
I'll pay. I'm thinking about buying a car to do it, just like a really cheap, like a first gen Miata.
We're gonna make our own movie. Instead of All Cars Go to Heaven 3, it's gonna be All Cars Go to Hell.
All drunks go to hell. So how big is the first gen Miata's trunk? Is it big enough for us to carry enough clothes with us to at least change every couple days?
Better to get a lot of synthetics.
Well, what car? I'm trying to think of a car that would be appropriate for that trip. It's got to be a very... Miata probably wouldn't be a good one. But it needs to be roomy and comfortable, but also one of those cars you can just eat the miles up in, too. I don't want to take the Jeep because... I'm used to the volume, but I think if you were to ride in it with me for several thousand miles, listening to it,
I go deaf,
and I'm already halfway there. So we need a good grand tour. Do you want drop top for a trip, or
I know you don't.
Well, that depends. It depends if it's for a trip like that. Then I could be talked into it. You can probably pick up a pretty cheap C4 Vet for the trip.
Yeah.
And parts would be pretty easy to get. Or we could just go really old pickup truck. Or, I don't know, for the Route 66, the original.
Keep in mind that somewhere along the way, you gotta get across the Rockies.
Fair enough.
That is where you make or break your car.
Every time I think about the Rocky Mountains, I think about Dumb and Dumber, the original. Man,
John Denver's full of shit.
Well, the Rocky Mountains would be rockier than that. Did you listen to the WTF with Jeff Daniels?
Is this recent?
No, last
I think I did.
3 weeks. It's pretty good. I didn't know he played Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird. Yeah, on Broadway. Like, that's interesting. But super well-spoken guy. Like, his Dumb and Dumber character is really not who Jeff Daniels is at all.
No.
Whereas Jim Carrey's character is kind of who Jim Carrey is.
Carrey.
Yeah. But he talks about working with Jim Carrey and all that stuff. But that'd be so much fun. I think we're already into the voiceover entertainment industry. Let's just go straight into acting, Steve.
Okay.
What are we going to do? Do you think you'd be a better bad guy or a good guy?
Yes.
So you'd be one of those.
Thing is, good guys never have to offer.
And if I've learned anything from Green Day, it's
Nice
that
guys finish last.
Yes.
And then you run out of gas.
I'm going to get us a couple tall boys.
Neat.
Twist your arm, right?
Yep.
Nice Guys Finish Last was on what album?
I'm going to guess Nimrod.
Was it Nimrod? You want to split this one or
Let's do it all in, man.
all in?
Pimp an Imperial IPA.
All right. Well, I hope it's good. Should be.
Yes. Well, it's an Imperial IPA.
Which now tastes sweeter. I'm back headphoned. Steve, what are we drinking right now? Jesus, I didn't know that was high gravity.
The Kettle Beer Works Krabby Louie Imperial Pale Ale. 9.5 ABV. Imperial IPA, carefully crafted by our brewery located in Banner Elk, not Boone, North Carolina. Our Imperial IPA has deep orange hue and a firm hop backbone. A fusion of several American hop varieties give a complex and provocative hop character. Glassware and pairings, because I don't care. Best served in a tulle or bell-shaped glass to trap the aromatics, such as my nose. A wide range of dishes from grilled meats, barbecue, or pizza to spicy foods like tacos and nachos pair nicely with this robust India Pale Ale.
I didn't know this. I didn't know Kettle Beer Works existed. Guess who's getting a message about music tonight?
Ayo.
Since A and B won't call me back. I did the opening it in the mic again too. So, oh no, you got a bubble.
When you wish upon a bubble, you bet your ass that you're in trouble.
That's good, but it's way different than I thought it would be. I like it.
Now it tastes more like an IPA.
Yeah, it's more piney, not piney, but I don't know. It must be the hop.
That hoppy flavor
Yeah.
to it.
Cans are better for your beer, better for your rivers, better for your parks, better for your trails, better for all your activities, better for you. That's what it says.
And for those keeping the score, the Jeff Daniels episode of WTF is 975 at Quickly while it's still on the free feed.
Yeah, the last 50? Okay. We're up to 35 now, so we're a 100th of the way to some of
yeah, in September, he will have been doing this for 10 years.
He was Corolla, and he were like really the big original.
And Ricky Gervais beat the both of them.
True, but I don't. What's his called?
The Ricky Gervais Show?
Oh, well, that's original.
The Adam Carolla podcast. They can't all be WTF.
What the fuck, Nicks? What the fuckadelics? What the fuck sticks?
I am partial to what the fuck Nicks.
I like well, of course.
Why asking me? I don't know.
Well, you got to meet Mr. Marin, and what's he like in person?
I've had this unfortunate tendency to ask famous people about other people they've had on the air. So it's like, I met Steve Almond a few months ago, man. Cool dude. Like, yeah, man, intense guy. Oh, see you later.
Big gulps. Oh, speaking of speaking of famous people, I got a pseudo famous people. So I'm sitting last Friday at Pizza Peel, drinking a beer and talking to the bartender, who's fucking cool as fuck. His name's Dakota, and I was like, "Which
North
one?"
or south?
Exactly.
East or west? Dodge.
Gary Johnson will liberate East Dakota and East Korea. Oh boy. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and a older gentleman is to my left, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here to pick up a to-go order," and she asked what the phone number was, and I look over at him, and he looks familiar and sounds familiar, but I look at him, and he goes, "How's it going?" I was like, "Not too bad. How about you?" He's like, "That's pretty good." I go back to talking to Dakota, and Dakota comes back. He had a pour beer for somebody, and He walks out the door, and then the lady who took the guy's to-go order, she goes, "Oh my God, that was Larry Sprinkle." I was like, the weather guy, the weatherman for Channel 6. I was like, no wonder. I was like, he looked familiar. I was like, fair enough. All right. But Larry Sprinkle likes Pizza Peel, guys. So, by the way,
that's a decent endorsement.
He didn't have to ask me how I was doing. Just look, hey, how's it going, man? Pretty good. How about you, man? But then, like, the wait staff was going, like, the girl was going nuts. I'm like, what are you, like a fucking member of his fan club or some shit? Like, I mean, it's cool, but it's not that fucking cool.
The weather groupies.
the weather girls.
Yeah, that's Homer Simpson's favorite song.
Is
Raining Men.
Is it really? On
What, the bodies at the floor? What?
on Bob and Tom, they had Dan Castantinella on there, and Bob was like, "Look, your favorite quote you ever said as Homer Simpson is this," and he handed it to him. He goes, "Please read this out loud." He goes, "Quick, to the book depository." Did you watch the Family Guy Simpsons crossover episode?
Yep.
That was actually good.
A long time coming.
Yeah, it really was. It was good. And also a long time coming is the Family Guy movie.
Pardon?
Seth MacFarlane's been working on a Family Guy movie.
So is Quahog going to be stuck under a dome? Because I've seen this one before.
Hopefully not a biodome. Which I've never seen, by the way. Is it worth watching?
You're going to need better drugs.
Well, you know...
Or you need to be 12 again.
Well, they just decriminalized mushrooms in 2 states.
You're very conflicted, aren't you?
I really kind of... Well, look, I'll eat the magic mushrooms. At least I get something out of it other than a slimy fungus of nonsense. I do want to try mushrooms, though. But
my favorite thing about eating cooked mushrooms is because just eating hot butter is just a little too strange.
Says you. Trevor
and
Noah
that was... it's only been 2 theaters have been kicked out for doing that.
Well, at the movie theater in Concord, Albemarle, Thomas and I used to go when we watched.
Do you want the AMC 30 or the AMC 2?
Then we went to the one in Albemarle, and I knew the guy that worked there. His name was Brandon Burleson, and I was like, "Hey, can I get a large cherry soda, the popcorn, and everything?" He's like, "Can I get an empty large popcorn bowl, like the big plat?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's fine."
I got to put my fried
What are you
chicken
gonna do
in
with it? I filled it with cherry soda. I'm carrying this bucket of soda with me. I was like, "You got a lid that fits this motherfucker?"
Nope.
I drank all of that.
You gotta. Do you have 2 feet of garden hose? Because that'd be your straw.
So, a word to the listeners: if you drink an entire bucket of cherry soda, you're not gonna feel very good in about an hour after that. Cherry soda's great. It's fantastic.
But your bladder's going to bust and your heart's going to jump out of your chest.
I think that was one of the times I actually timed my pee, and it was well over a minute straight of strong stream. And it was so much soda, I'm pretty sure some of my pee was still carbonated.
That effervescent feeling's surprisingly refreshing, though, isn't it?
Ingress, yes. Egress, no.
Apparently, I'm enjoying that carbonated egress a bit more than whoops.
So, are you ready for
there's your other band name, Carbonated Egress. Are you doing titles on these? Because there's your title,
Carbonated Egress. I am doing. Are you ready for the Yarzum Hill wedding?
Yes.
Me too. Sean is gonna pregame with us Sean and Carter are gonna pregame with us at Saucer if he does not have to help
Doug move.
The Doug Alpses move. What's Doug's lantern? The Laupses?
The Mountain Lights.
Ooh. So if we might pregame there. If not, I'm sure they got plenty of booze at the bar at Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a little bit expensive. Going to be
That's why I'm not giving up my shift Friday, so I have beer money for wedding/Charleston.
Way to go.
And I'm working Sunday night before going to Charleston, so I can pick up my paycheck then, too.
When is Chucktown trip?
All next week.
Is that with parents? Or
Yeah, parents, extended family. The same thing as the last couple of years there.
That's right. Well,
And this will be Kalen's opportunity to meet more extended family, too.
Well, I'm glad that's next week and not a podcast week, so we don't have to push it. Genuinely still look forward to doing this after 35 episodes. We're so veteran.
And then next up's going to be 4th of July week. I'll let you know how... what did I write out for that?
Are you off that night?
The 4th?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be my only day, night, whatever off for the first 2 weeks in July. Quarter end is going to be all hell breaking loose at work.
We could do an Independence Day celebration here.
That's silly. I'd rather set stuff on fire.
We can do that afterwards.
During. Which guitar do you like the least?
No. How about I just sell the green one and you can just set that spot on fire?
No, it's silly. I like the symmetry.
Hey, I'll tell you which. I have a guitar ornament in there you could set on fire.
Interesting. The other night I tried to grill out.
Oh.
Fucking propane tank just was empty after getting it heated up. I was disappointed. Like, that one moved way more quickly than the previous one. I mean, yes, it's been used more, but still.
Yeah,
so I have 2 empty propane tanks.
Well, how
damn you, Hank Hill.
How many grilling? You're supposed to get like 40 uses out of that.
That was not it.
Is it? I wonder if it was leaky. You didn't leave it on, did you?
As far as I know, no.
Okay. Well,
I'll just take him over to Costco, get him changed out for $10 instead of $17. Sorry, food dog.
Yeah, I need to grill more, but it's so fucking hot outside, and standing over a hot grill.
It's not your thing.
It is not my thing.
I mean, for what it's worth, it always takes us so long to get up and ready to grill. It's midnight when we're setting food on fire, and it's awesome. So
well, that's on
especially
weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm later for work.
Yeah, I'll message Tony after we get done.
Yeah, Kay's been picking up manager specials, like whatever, like thick cuts on the cheap, and those are turning out better and better.
Thick Cuts on the Cheap would be a good band name also. I mean, there's already Southern Culture on the Skids. I'll teach you how to walk.
Okay, go ahead and name another one of their songs.
I can't.
Super.
Well, my buddy Chris Pilata actually saw Southern Culture on the Skids live and said it was an amazing show.
I can imagine. That'd be a special brand of crazy.
But he also, back-to-back
Budget
nights,
Primus.
well, back-to-back nights saw Cradle of Filth and then Weird Al Yankovic.
Wow. I'd like to see one of those. And it's not my old apartment.
No, I am not a fan of Cradle of Filth. It's way shrieky. Like, it's not even an enjoyable kind of shrieky. It's just...
and Rose.
Yeah. They do, if you play one of their songs backwards, it gives you a really creepy version of the Lord's Prayer read. So that's pretty neat. Other than that, I can take it or leave it. It's so funny you called the old apartment Cradle of Filth. I imagine it probably wasn't because of you.
No.
So you're saying that Courtney's probably the cleaner in that relationship.
I'm cluttered but not dirty.
Understood. Because there is a difference.
Yeah, mostly dog. Rest in peace, Kale.
Yeah, that dog wasn't even that old, was it?
11.
Is that old for a husky?
I don't know, but for every time Grade fed him or his folks were looking after him, folks were feeding him a little too well.
Understood. Yeah, everybody's always surprised when they come over to our house and meet our cats, and they're like, oh, they're not fat. I'm like, yeah.
You should see what happens at feeding time.
Yeah, pretty much. But certain cats can free feed. Like, Punk's not fat. Punk can free feed all day. But, our cats, Zara could free feed. Coco and Cairo will eat whatever you put in that bowl, no matter the amount. Trust us. Although, did you ever hear the story that where Thomas and I were at his house, and we were watching a couple movies, and we popped some popcorn. His dog Bo, which is a miniature Schnauzer, which is my favorite fucking dog of all time.
I don't think I've seen that one.
You haven't?
Oh, I've seen the big dog.
What? They're adorable. Tom's like, yeah, they look so wise. They're not. Miniature Schnauzer. I'll try to find a good.
That's funny because the Schnauzer's already not a big dog. Yeah.
It looks like it has a goatee, but so Tom, Bo kept on begging us for food. So Thomas would give him a thing of a kernel of popcorn, and he would eat it. And Bo kept on bothering us, so Thomas pops Bo his own bag of popcorn and puts it down in a bowl, and Bo smashes all of this popcorn. Then comes back over to us after he finishes. He wants more popcorn. Tom's like, really? Thomas pops him another bag of popcorn. Bo smashes that amount of popcorn, and then when he gets done, he goes into the other room and lays down and doesn't move for 2 hours. I missed that dog. That dog, Bo died in, I guess, it's been a while, maybe 2010, 2011, but that dog was so cool.
Oh, I was wondering, he has another dog now?
He does,
okay.
but that's Traveler. That's an
I know
Australian
that
cattle dog. Yeah, but yeah, the Schnauzer, he had that all through. When I first met him, he had Bo. Bo was so cool. It didn't matter who you were. As soon as you came in the door, he would come sprinting at you and barking. And then as soon as he got up to you, he'd smell you and then immediately fall over and ask for his belly rubbed. It didn't matter who it was. He knew new strangers. So I miss that dog. That was a good dog. And if they weren't so fucking hard to take care of, I'd have a dog. But I'm not want to go outside when it's snowing and scoop up dog shit off the ground. I'd rather do it with a scoop and not have to touch it with my hand and a thin napkin in between it. You never had a dog, have you? Or you had a dog?
I grew up with a dog, but there were 5 of us taking care of said dog.
That makes it easier.
So I would just take Boomer around the wet neighborhood.
Boomer lives?
Not anymore.
What kind of dog was Boomer?
An Aussie Shepherd mix. A 25-pound, hiney-looking creature that was the sweetest thing ever.
Oh, I imagine so. It's... What's funny is, I know you're the same way. I think I have a higher threshold for love on animals than I do people now. Because animals are unconditional with their care and love. People suck. And I'm learning that more and more.
That's why I only wash Punk using shampoo and not conditioner.
Nice. That's why Pavlov's hair was so soft. He conditioned it. I'm still throwing around the idea of solid white cat.
Yeah.
Got to cover that grayscale, man. But considering...
I'm working on it myself, but I'm growing it.
I will trade... You know what? I'll trade you all day for your head of hair, for my head of hair. You wouldn't take that trade.
Yeah. Go ahead. Figure out how to make that work, and we'll talk.
Well, if I could just somehow sign a contract with Satan to keep the head of hair I have now, I'd be okay with keeping my hairline now, because the way I style it, you can't tell, and most of the time I'm wearing a hat anyway. But if it gets much worse, I'm just going to buzz it all off.
I mean, there are various treatments along the way that have popped up in the last couple of years to help your hair pop up as well.
Yeah, Bosley's $8,000 for one treatment.
I think 4 Hims may or may not be cheaper.
Hims looks... I haven't looked into it, but it looks like the same technology that Rogaine is. Okay. And I tried Rogaine for a while. It slowed it down, but it didn't regrow anything. So if I'm just going to put off the inevitable, I'd rather even fix the problem or solve the problem.
Rather than slow the problem.
Yeah, slowing the problem doesn't do it for me. I love the old George Carlin when he was talking about the 1-800-COLLECT. And this is very dated, but bear with me. It's the same premise. He goes, why are there so many different ways to save? In a country where you can buy edible women's panties, cheese in a spray can, are people really busting their asses to save 5 cents on a phone call? By the way, cheese in a spray can, awesome on Ritz crackers. What is it not awesome on?
A cheesesteak?
Exactly. And thank you. I appreciate that. When I found out that some places did that, I went, I'm sorry.
Apparently that was the OG version. I was like, man, once you discover provolone, you shan't go back.
Why would you ruin a nice baguette and thinly sliced juicy steak with Cheese Whiz? That makes no fucking sense at all. That would be like,
if you ridiculous and ridiculous again, you're ridiculous.
Where'd you get that from?
I made it up.
That would be like ordering the hottest call girl that they have in the book, and then her coming over, and then you masturbating in front of her. It would make no fucking sense.
CK, what you did there.
Louie, Louie. Oh, oh.
Baby, you gotta go.
We need to get Richard Cheese on the podcast. Where does he? Do you have any idea where he's based out of?
I guess Vegas.
That's either that or
Not
Atlantic City.
It's like not Branson, Missouri.
Atlantic City would get a. By the way, I've heard Reno and Atlantic City are very similar in jabroni-isms and general vibe of the town. I don't know. I've never been to Reno and I've never been to Atlantic City, but that's what I've heard. But I'm a card player, so I would like to visit those two and Vegas. And if I can still make it to Vegas, I will, by the way. But I told Colin, please don't save me a room because I don't know what I'm going to be doing that week. And I want to go, but I don't know, man. I got so much shit I want to do and just don't have time to do it. And then on my days off, I don't know if you're running into this. Do you just like lay around and do nothing?
Yeah, a lot of this weekend was that, but mostly because I thought my head's going to fall off. I had quite the migraine and body aches all weekend long. So it wasn't until about 5 o'clock Sunday I felt okay, which made seeing Pops difficult.
Did you drive?
I was like, oh, hey, I'm dead and I'm driving.
Oh, you drove. You could have drove the blue bomber, the other blue bomber,
the other one.
Yeah,
the blue is not the bomb. This says that Richard Cheese is based out of L.A.
That gives us an excuse to cannonball run from Carolina.
The I-40 in 40 hours or fewer. Because that's plausible.
40 and 40, yeah. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I like the original Route 66 idea, but the 40 and 40 is much closer
this
to here.
Doesn't require you get up to Chicago first, because there goes 700 miles right there.
Fair enough. So we could just... I'm sure they have a rental car, some kind of enterprise thing in Wilmington.
Mm-hmm.
Just go down to Wilmington, rent us a nice car, and drive to L.A. in it. Because does 40 go to L.A. or does it go to...
It stops just short of it, so then you have to take 5 or 15 in.
Okay. Because you've been to L.A., and I've been to San Diego.
Yeah. Along the way, leaving Wilmington, there's a novelty sign saying Barstow, California, 2,800 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other end of it is Wilmington, NC, same amount. So somebody had a sense of humor setting this up, and I appreciate that.
How about for my 34th birthday? We do a 40 and 40. February would be a good time of year to do that. Because we wouldn't run into any heat.
It'd be all southern U.S., so it wouldn't be bad weather.
Yeah.
Rockies also notwithstanding, but whatever. What can you do?
Hey, where does... All right, so I-40... I'm just going to have to pull the map up. There's no fucking way. Past Tennessee, I don't know.
This kind of keeps going a while. And that stretch from Raleigh to Wilmington was one of the last parts of I-40 to be completed. Of all the parts of an interstate, you can't build on that flat land.
Yeah. Steve, this is the best idea ever. Interstate 40 starts. We could actually stay overnight at Wrightsville Beach, and then
We can't stay in Wrightsville. They kick us out.
That wouldn't fly.
That town is apparently that town's full of assholes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like they really do not care that is a tourist destination.
How about Seabreeze or Carolina
The
Beach?
astringent.
Well, you know what? Let's just stay in downtown Wilmington. Fuck it, because downtown Wilmington's fucking boss. You've been, right? I can't say I would live a lot of places. I'd live in Wilmington's actually really cool. I could live in Wilmington.
It's because it's supposed to be born, but I don't remember it.
Wilmington International Airport. Nice. How long is the flight from?
The Industrial Light and Magic Airport.
So you start in Wilmington. And, of course, you cover through Raleigh and Durham, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Hickory, Asheville, Knoxville.
Watch out for those rock slides on the far side of Asheville.
And then Knoxville, Nashville, Memphis. Get some barbecue. Pass through Arkansas and Little Rock. And then we go north through Conway and Fort Smith, Missouri. Or as somebody once told me, Missouri, and I looked at them like they just grew an arm out of their face.
Usually people that are from Missouri mispronounce it that way.
Yeah. Oklahoma City. We can go say hey to Ted Kaczynski. Well, he's dead.
Downtown his grave.
Amarillo, Texas. And Albuquerque. Thomas went to Albuquerque.
Been there.
Yeah, Thomas said Albuquerque's awesome.
Yep.
Let's see here. And then pass through Joseph City. Hopefully not Joseph Smith City.
Which state?
Arizona. And then Flagstaff. We will pass very close by Grand Canyon, but that won't be. Then, hell, we won't even make it through Nevada. It's just south, so straight from Arizona to California. How about that?
That ends in Barstow. Then you got to take.
Yep. How do you remember that?
15 or 5. I've been on that. I've been on that trip from Albuquerque through the desert twice.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing the sign in Wilmington, leaving there a couple of times.
Fair enough. Well, if we make it to Barstow, we can find. When we make it to Barstow, we'll find out after that. But where we want to go. So if you want to go to L.A., if we want to go
to the drink.
Huh. 40 and 40. You want to do it next year?
I offer no guarantees given my time and budget constraints. It's a lovely idea for one of these days.
I will tell you what. I purvey car and gas. All you have to do is pay for your own food. Would you be in?
Mayhaps.
All right. I want to do it. We got to find a car we could sleep in. I wonder what.
So we need the quickest wagon possible, and the Mazda 6 wagon's been out of production for a while.
Well,
or a CTSV, because then your fuel budget will murder you.
Well, it's all interstate, so it doesn't have to be. I mean, as long as it gets to a speed, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to get there quickly. Pickup location: Wilmington, not Wilmington.
Will Wheaton,
North Carolina. Will Wheaton. Pickup. You know what? Yeah, we'll do the 19th. Why not? It can't. The prices can't be that different. We're not going to be able to see a lot of stuff doing 40 and 40, but...
That's the unfortunate thing about this. What are you doing? Racing across the country.
Small pickup, Nissan Frontier, $70 a day. But you can go to Mitsubishi Mirage for $65 a day, which I would honestly rather walk. There's a RAV4. Rent a Jetta.
That RAV4 seems like a good idea because I'd expect the Jetta to break.
Ford Edge. $84 per day. Volkswagen Atlas premium crossover, $170. Nope, there we go. Expedition, $180 a day. 7 people. Premium Elite SUV for rental. BMW X3. No. Cargo van, $100 a day. Got it. We nailed it. We got what we're taking.
Can I make sure it's Mercedes mattress?
Ooh, look, for an extra $6 a day, you can have Sirius XM radio.
Man, wait till these people discover the likes of what Spotify can do.
There we go, bub. There's our in a Chevy cargo van. We could sleep in it.
I think that's the oldest fashioned new car on the market right now. Is the Chevy Express or GMC Savannah.
And it's a rape van because it has no side windows.
So we're going to get one of those magnet banners that says free candy on the side of it.
Yes.
It's like, well, as much fun it would be to spray paint the side of the van. Well,
hey guys, can you temporarily wrap this?
Yeah.
Nice.
All wraps are temporary. Or from my experience, all plastic dip is temporary.
It depends on
my car is going bald.
How thick it goes is temporary. How thick you put it on is how temporary it goes. $126 a day.
Already to a bad start.
Not bad. $126 a day. So in 40 hours, you're only renting it 2 days. The $252.
No, what I need is a Turo that I could pick up here, take there, but then they pick up the car. I need a one-way Turo. Like, yeah, give it at Scion TC for $25 a day.
One-way Turo.
That's a thing.
That's a great band name also.
Be a little worried about that one, though. Like, the band Wilco, they had to change their name to Speedway.
One-way Turo. Steve, I'm hungry.
You too, huh?
You're already hungry?
That was enough, so, I don't feel super dead doing this.
Ugh.
Yeah, so, Breakfast of the Champions, y'all. Nuggets and fries. Yep.
Well,
it's not a salad, but it still had the salad effect, which tastes like...
You're hungry again.
Hey! How about that?
Well, for episode 35, which has been quite literally all over the fucking place, but a blast to do.
Yay!
I've been AJ.
And I'm still Steve.
With Steve, we're done. We'll see y'all in 36, maybe or maybe not with a guest, but in the meantime, be good to each other.
Stay excellent to each other and toodles.
And toodles. Later.